Does this leave Rochester Public
Yeah,
Schools?
well, demographics change. These are hard decisions to make for folks, but I think once again, we gave more certainty and investments to the future by tying school funding to inflation and making sure that we put the money into things like the cross subsidy that are mandates, good mandates to serve all of our kids, but to make sure they're there. Schools are local control.
Governor Walz also sharing his thoughts with us on universal free meals in schools across the state.
We heard about the financial situation yesterday. One of the things that we heard is that the free school meals program is costing a bit extra. I mean, for parents who are in Rochester Public Schools, they're looking at a lot of change coming up. Can they count on that program sticking around?
Yes, I am not going to give cuts to wealthy folks to this school meals program. And the idea of, I heard some Republicans talk about these things were squandered. Feeding a child and making sure they're ready for school is not squandering money. And we saw some programs cost less. For example, the unemployment insurance for bus drivers and cooks cost about 3 times less. This is normal when you start to put some of these things in. So let them rest assured we're going to stick with that one.
He touched on the new expansion of Mayo Clinic and the completion of Highway 14 as well. You can watch the full interview with the governor on our website, KTTC.com.
You can help make a difference in young people's lives by becoming a special education teacher. Rochester Public Schools is holding a special ed teacher hiring event today. Anyone with a 4-year degree can become an educator. Positions are needed for birth through 3 years old, early childhood, as well as elementary and secondary school positions. The walk-in hiring event is from 10 until 4 today at the Edison Building. Virtual interviews for this are also available. On this Friday morning, let's welcome in meteorologist David Burgett. He's in for Ted this morning to tell us about a pretty fantastic Friday before some change is on the way.
Yes, some changes indeed, Kelsey and Darian. We're going to be seeing some colder temperatures, so if you like the 50s, just hold on to those for a little bit longer for today. But we are seeing warm temperatures this morning into the mid to upper 30s and even into the 40s there in Winona towards the Mississippi River area. But those wind speeds are going to be out of the south-southwest, keeping us warmer this morning, but it's going to be making it feel like it's into the upper 20s here in Rochester. Across the region, temperatures are still going to be into the lower 40s and upper 30s. Pretty much everywhere across the region. Taking a wider look, we get some clouds coming in from the southwest right now into Winnebago County and Hancock and along the I-90 corridor, creeping into Freeborn right now. We are going to be seeing the temperatures today go into the lower 50s and upper 40s, so I guess you need to take that in while you can and take all that sunshine into the afternoon hours before some clouds build in for the evening hours. But take a look at this. We're going to be warming up today into the upper 50s, lower 40s, 4:30 around the mid 40s. But as we go through the morning hours, we're going to be seeing temperatures tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon as low as the 30s for us here. So it's going to be quite a change. And this is what I'm tracking, really. The last of these warm temperatures for today, as you know, but a chance for some snow as we get the next system rolling through tomorrow morning into the afternoon.
Okay, well, here we always take advantage of the warm weather, but definitely in December too. You gotta do that.
You gotta do it while you can.
Yes.
So maybe get some yard work done if you have
all
anything
of
to
it.
do for winter. Late Christmas lights.
That too.
Yes, yes. Good weekend for it. Thank you, David. Continuing coverage now, former Olmsted County Sheriff's deputy is arrested for a second time as part of an ongoing sex crimes investigation. Because 44-year-old Matthew Adamson is a former Olmsted County employee, he is currently behind bars in the Mower County Jail. He is facing 8 new charges, accused of acquiring images of women in the adult detention center where he used to work. Authorities also found child sex abuse material on his phone. These new charges are separate from Adamson's other charges, which include solicitation of a child filed last month. He will appear in court in late January for those prostitution-related charges. A court date for the most recent charges has not been set yet. Olmsted County Sheriff Shevin Torgerson did release a statement in response to the charges against the former deputy. He says, quote, in part, the alleged conduct described in these criminal complaints is inconsistent with the values of the sheriff's office, the work of the individual sheriff office employees who have dedicated their lives to public service and communities we have sworn to serve, end quote.
Property taxes are going up in Olmsted County yet again, which has many residents worried. But according to county officials, the increase is similar to years past and should not be cause for concern. During a Truth in Taxation meeting held by county commissioners, data shows that the value of properties across the county, whether it be in Byron, Orinoco, Stewartville, or Rochester, is going up considerably. Since property values continue to rise, the county is showing how property taxes would increase as well. These numbers were approved back in September when we reported on the 5.2% increase year over year. So what exactly does that jump mean for you? Take a look at your screen here. The red bars on this graph show the dollar amount increase. The black line shows the percentage increase. 2024 is relatively higher than years past in dollar amount, but compared to 2022 and 23, it's pretty similar. The increase, to put it another way, amounts to $22 in property taxes per person. The average increase percentage-wise is about 5%. Olmsted County says if you have concerns or disagreements on how your property's value was assessed, the time to do that is between April and June.
So most of the increase in cost comes in the form of salary increases, cost of benefits, health insurance continues to increase. Those things are a big contributor to the increase in the levy.
Some taxpayers say there has been a lack of transparency by the county in communicating changes to property taxes. The History Center of Olmsted County also says it's seen a lack of financial support. Commissioners, however, say that the History Center does receive some of the largest funds from the county and its taxpayers.
Hunter Biden has been indicted on 9 tax charges in California. The new charges, 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors, come in addition to federal firearms charges in Delaware. Allegedly, he broke a law during against drug users having guns. According to the special counsel, the charges are focused on at least $1.4 million in taxes he owed between 2016 and 2019. If convicted, Hunter could face up to 17 years in prison.
House Republicans have released the text of a resolution that would authorize their impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The resolution, introduced by Representative Kelly Armstrong of North Dakota, would formalize the ongoing inquiry driven by 3 GOP-led House committees. It would help them enforce subpoenas and allow the panel's chairman to designate open hearings in their probe into the Biden family. Multiple House leaders have said the chamber is expected to vote on the resolution next week. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he believes Republicans have the votes to approve it.
As the war between Hamas and Israel reaches the 2-month mark, President Biden is working with Israel's prime minister to continue humanitarian aid into Gaza. The president expressing his deep concern for the hostages that remain there, while also stressing that much more assistance is urgently required across the board. In the call, the president reiterated his concern about extremist violence committed against Palestinians and the need to increase stability in the West Bank. Meanwhile, Minnesota Senator Ilhan Omar is reacting to the U.S. response to the ongoing war.
How can our government say we are concerned but do nothing to stop this war? How can we say you need to bomb fewer civilians and then sell them the literal bombs that are being used to bomb civilians? The trauma of the past few months will live in the hearts and minds of Palestinians and Israeli populace for decades to come.
President Biden and the Prime Minister have agreed to remain in regular consultation directly and through their respective national security teams.
2 men have been arrested in eastern France after allegedly scamming elderly people into paying thousands of euros for bedbug treatment they did not need. Police in Strasbourg say the men would go to victims' homes, carry out phony control services, and then overcharge for treatment products. Victims would be charged between 300 and 2,100 euros. They say 48 people have been scammed altogether, many of them women over the age of 90. The suspects were placed under surveillance and then later arrested as they left a home of one of the alleged victims. Recent months have seen a rise in bedbug infestations across the country of France. The issue has sparked concern there, with senior government officials working on measures to address that.
This weekend, the Rochester Police Department will be spreading extra cheer for the 20th annual Shop with a Cop event. 66 kids from local schools were selected to take part this year. Each will receive a $120 Walmart gift card and will be paired with an officer to help buy presents for themselves and their family members this holiday season. After shopping, the kids and the cops will have a lunch together. All the gifts will also be wrapped by volunteers afterwards. Authorities say this helps to continue building positive relationships between law enforcement and our youth. Shop with a Cop begins at noon at Walmart North. I've been to this event a couple times and it's always so much fun seeing the kids and the officers together and what they pick out on their Christmas lists. It's always fun.
Yeah, I can imagine reading those Christmas lists must be something fun for the cops as well, not only for the kids.
Yeah, and a lot of them are also buying for their siblings and families, and it's always so heartwarming to see that.
So sweet.
It is 5:40. There's a new restaurant coming to Orinoco.
Yeah, this is exciting. When we come back, we're gonna meet the pair of sisters who are working to bring this family dream to life. Stay with us for that story. First, here's David.
Today is looking to be a fantastic day back in the 50s, but right now we have some cloud coverage starting to linger on into the area, but we're going to see some chance for some snow tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know in my full forecast.
Two area sisters are working together to make a dream come true by starting their very own restaurant in Orinoco. The new business, called Two Sisters, is a cafe and bar concept with a drive-through option for food. Diane Oslin and Lori Melhorn say the menu is still being developed, but they want to serve the true Minnesota comfort foods made from scratch. Diane and Lori tell us they wanted to start a business in Orinoco to give families a place to gather together.
People are really excited about it. We knew that there was a need, you know, and people have been saying that there's a lot of people in Orinoco and Pine Island and Zumbrota, and there are no restaurants really north of 55th Street. Yeah. So, you know, we knew that there was a need.
The restaurant is expected to open in summer of 2024. You can find it near Orinoco's Gas and Go on Cedar Avenue Southeast. Pretty cool.
Here's your first alert weather with meteorologist David Burgett.
Well, if you need a little bit of Christmas or holiday cheer this morning, we do have some clear skies overlooking Rochester at the moment, and we are going to see some clouds linger in, but look at that Christmas cheer right there. You can see the Christmas tree all lit up in downtown Rochester this morning, so adding a little bit of some holiday cheer into your morning here, but it might not feel like the holidays right now because we're seeing temperatures into the upper 30s right now in Rochester, but you're thinking 30s? That sounds pretty close to the freezing point at 32 degrees, but just letting you know, our normal for this time of year is about 16 degrees, so into the mid-teens. So a lot warmer in Rochester and all across the region for our temperatures into the upper 30s and lower 40s across the area. We are going to be seeing wind speeds today that are going to be a little bit breezy this morning, but cloud coverage starting to linger in along the western portions of the I-90 corridor and along southern portions of I-35 heading into northeast Iowa. Right now, we are going to be seeing our wind speeds through the morning be pretty much sustained around 13 to 14 miles per hour, but peaking around 17 miles per hour here into the later morning and early afternoon hours. Wind gusts will be into the lower to mid 20s for us across the region and even in Olmsted County. But our temperatures over the course of today, starting around 3 in the afternoon, will be around 49 to 50 degrees, but we're going to take a nice sharp turn down into the 30s near the freezing point by the time we get another front rolling through into the early morning hours of your weekend. That's going to be our next weather maker. So we're going to be seeing some light snow for tomorrow, but for today we'll see some more sunshine for some partly cloudy skies and temperatures into the low 50s, as you know. But next week we're going to see more mild temperatures into the forecast, potentially back into the 40s by next Thursday on the 14th. So our next system rolling through is going to be, we're going to be sandwiched kind of between two low pressure systems, this cold front off into Wisconsin, and then even this the stationary front and cold front overlooking Bismarck right now. So we are going to be seeing that move forward into our area towards the early morning hours of your Thursday, or of your Saturday morning for you, so a chance for some light snow into our area north of I-90. So we are going to be seeing temperatures stay into the 50s. Winds are going to be more out of the west towards those early morning hours. We are going to be seeing the chance for some rain if this tracks a little bit more westward into some of our more eastern counties, into Decorah and Winneshiek and Houston counties. But we can see all the snow for tomorrow start to really filter in during the later morning, early afternoon hours with temperatures into the 30s. This will be sticking around with us and starting to break up, according to this model, around the later afternoon hours with temperatures into the 30s for us here in Olmsted County, clearing out for the most part here around Sunday morning. Snowfall rates will probably less than an inch across the area, probably less than half an inch more of a dusting. Highs for this week will be back jumping up and down between the average between the course of this week, back into the 30s before Thursday. We could be seeing temperatures into the 40s, where 15 to 17 degrees above average. For today, partly cloudy skies, temperatures into the upper 40s and lower 30s. Good day to take your dog for a WALK. And then we are going to be seeing the chance for some snow into the afternoon hours for tomorrow in terms of some flurries to light snow. Over the course of this week, I guarantee you we'll see more sunshine in the forecast and more temperatures that make it feel more seasonal, more December for us here.
Yeah, even those seasonal temperatures coming up for us next week, the sun is still shining, and we don't necessarily have to worry about any hindrances in the weather department.
Right,
we love that.
So usually during the winter, we get all those overcast, dark,
gloomy
stratus clouds. So more sunshine make for a better December.
Exactly. Yes, I think that'll put a lot of smiles on our faces here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, David. Still to come this morning, budgeting for our holiday gifts. How local experts in the finance department say shoppers can plan and save this Christmas.
Plus, a consumer alert will tell you about a recall potentially linked to lead poisoning in children. You're waking up with KTTC News Today. It's 5:49.
Shoppers continue their holiday spending. There are some things to keep in mind before bringing home this year's gifts. We spoke with Pulse Financial Planning in Rochester about ways shoppers can plan and budget for this season. One recommendation experts say is to be aware of the risks that come from withdrawing a 401k or retirement plan for shopping this holiday season. We're told there are major tax implications that could negatively impact the growth of these plans.
It'll be listed as either a traditional or pre-tax. And if you're withdrawing from a traditional or pre-tax retirement plan, you will owe income tax on the distribution. And then also, if you're under the age of 59 and a half, there will be an additional 10% penalty for withdrawing prior to that age.
Experts also recommend shoppers budget and set aside money throughout the year to avoid any issues come the end of the year. Mortgage rates have dropped for 7 straight weeks and are now at the lowest level since August. According to data from Freddie Mac Finance Company, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate fell this week to just over 7%. That's slightly down from last week. By comparison, in 2022, the average rate was at 6.3%. The average mortgage rate is based on applications Freddie Mac gets from lenders across the country.
The Food and Drug Administration says the number of children with symptoms of lead poisoning potentially linked to recalled applesauce pouches has now increased to 64. The children are under the age of 6. The FDA previously recalled 3 products and said cinnamon may be the source of the lead contamination. The agency now says the cinnamon was supplied by a company in Ecuador. According to the FDA, Ecuadorian authorities reported the cinnamon had a higher levels of lead than allowed in that country. The agency also says it has conducted an on-site inspection of the facility in Ecuador, and ingredient sample collection is underway. Tens of thousands of people who owe student loans are getting off the hook. President Biden says nearly $5 billion are earmarked for student debt cancellation for more than 80,000 borrowers. Biden says the money would help teachers, members of the military, nurses, and other public service workers. Biden announcement brings the total of debt cancellation to $132 billion for more than 3.6 million borrowers. It is 5:55, addressing committee concerns.
Yeah, leaders with the Plainview Elgin Millville School District are sharing their updated thoughts to move forward with a new coaches committee. You have all the details next.
In the news this morning, we're learning more about Plainview Elgin Millville's Coaches Committee, how the group plans to support school activity leaders.
Plus, there is a new way for Rochester golfers to keep up their skills during the colder months. We're going to take you there.
And today, expect 50s for the last time, possibly this December. So we will be seeing a cool down. I'll tell you all about it just ahead.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
After much feedback, leaders with the Plainview Elgin Millville School District have come up with a new recommendation for the controversial new Coaches Committee. Good morning, I'm Darian Letty in for Jess Abrahamson.
And I'm Kelsey Marrier. Good morning. The board has decided it will become more of an activities committee to provide support for activity leaders. In October, the district implemented new